This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com with a big UFC news update for you, as well as other MMA and boxing news information I've taken from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Franicis Nagannou is going to be part of Fast and Furious 9. WWE star John Cena is also going to be in that movie. However, Dwayne Johnson will not be on that one. Nate Diaz lit up a joint in public and passed it around at UFC's open workout on August the 14th. He said it was just CBD, which is legal in the UFC, and CSAC testing, as opposed to THC, which is banned. This week has a huge event, UFC 241 from Anaheim, California at the Honda Center, which should be the biggest pay-per-view of the year, with Daniel Cormier facing Stipe Miocic in the main event. And they also have Nate Diaz return and Romero versus Costa as another major fight on the show, because the winner of that fight will likely be in line for a middleweight title shot. Cormier said he has at the very most 2 fights left in him. If he beats Miocic, the only person he would agree to fight is John Jones, and he says he would only do that at 205, which kinds of screws UFC if that were to happen, because if Cormier wins, basically that's going to be the end of Daniel Cormier at heavyweight, and he will have beaten Miocic twice. Cormier is the favorite in that fight with Miocic, mainly because he won the first fight via a first-round knockout. However, Cormier is also almost 40, or he is 40. He has had major back problems in recent months and is giving away a lot of size and reach to Miocic, who is also a good wrestler who can negate Cormier's game and has knockout power, according to Dave Meltzer. John Jones, who would be the likely opponent for Cormier if Cormier wins, says he has no interest in fighting at heavyweight, and he's never challenged a heavyweight champion. He's been a top light heavyweight almost his entire career. ESPN did a piece on Daniel Cormier that noted he's now working as a high school wrestling coach at Gilroy High School, where he is not paid, and he's been asked that the salary from the school go to the assistant coaches. One of the assistant coaches there is Duran Wynn, so that's quite a wrestling coaching staff at that high school. In other news, Anthony Smith underwent another operation on his broken hand and will be out of action until early next year. Boston Salmon versus Randy Costa will be on the October 18th Boston UFC event. Also on that event is Tanner Boisier versus Daniel Spitz. Kat Zingano, 37, was released from the UFC this past week. Stefan Struve's retirement was short. He's back after his February 23rd submission win over Marcus Rogerio. Sorry about my pronunciation of that, de Lima. He has signed to face Ben Rothwell on December 7th on the UFC event in Washington, D.C., which ESPN has reported UFC would like Alistair Overeem to face Walt Harris in the main event. UFC debuted in Uruguay August the 10th for 9,225 fans, which was announced as a sellout. No financial gate was released. Valentina Shevchenko defended the UFC flyweight title successfully over Liz Carmouche in the main event that was booed at various points and described as boring. However, that's typical of a place that is a new market for UFC that doesn't quite understand the technical aspects of this sport. In Bellator news, they're going to be returning to Honolulu on December 14th. One Fighting Championship has a show on October 13th in Tokyo. That their show has been teased by the CEO of the company of being the biggest event in their history. In a boxing move that has been similar to WWE's recent dealings with the Saudi Arabian Sports Authority, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing says that its next blockbuster fight that the WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight title rematch, Andy Rules versus Anthony Joshua, will take place in Saudi Arabia on December the 7th. The Saudi Arabian General Sports Authority, who are the same people that the WWE work with the WWE's events there, offered more than $50 million for the fight, according to Dave Meltzer. So this is very much the equivalent of the WWE's deal for putting on events there, except for where the WWE's deal is for multiple events, getting paid millions of dollars to present them over the course of 10 years. This is going to be a one-time boxing event, which will be called Clash of the Dunes. There is some criticism already regarding this show, claiming that the Saudi Arabian government, like their situation with the WWE, is using these events to, quote, sports wash their image, make their image better worldwide, despite some of the questionable stuff that goes on in those countries, such as their views on women, homosexuals, and the killing of the reporter that took place last year, among other reasons.